Stop. If you are spraying your lawn, you are literally throwing away medicine that's more potent than what you'll find in most pharmacies. I'm not talking about some obscure herb from the Amazon. I'm talking about the stuff you're currently paying money to kill. What if the cure was already growing in your yard? Most people never look twice at it. They pull it, they spray it, they curse it on a Saturday morning. But long before pharmacies existed, healers turned to these same plants, quietly, reliably, for generations. And now, modern research is catching up, slowly proving what old hands already knew. Today, we look at 12 of these plants, 12 weeds growing near your front door right now. Stick around for number 5. It's eaten on 5 continents, but not here. We rip it out instead. And number 1, the plant nobody can kill. Old healers called it a life bringer. By the end, you won't see your lawn the same way again. If forgotten remedies and quiet old wisdom interest you, consider joining us here. New stories like this arrive every week. Now, let's begin. 12 plants, 12 quiet stories, starting with number 12.
Number 12. Cleavers, the lymphatic whisper. You probably know this plant by feel, not name. It's the sticky weed that clings to your sleeve. Tiny hooks, tall grass, summer walks. Monks in old herb gardens saw something else. They called it cleaverwort. For centuries, monks used it for swollen glands, for stubborn lumps that wouldn't drain. Inside cleavers are compounds called iridoid glycosides and one called asperuloside. Early research suggests asperuloside may resist certain bacteria, the kind tied to skin infections. 3 separate healing traditions used this plant the same way: China, India, Europe. None of them spoke to each other, yet all reached the same conclusion. To use it, gather young stems in spring, before those hooks harden. Cold steep a handful in water overnight. Never heat it. Heat ruins it. The taste is mild, faintly green, like water from washed spinach. A small glass each morning on an empty stomach. That was the old way. The science is still young here, but the pattern across cultures is hard to ignore.
Number 11. Ground elder, the plant Rome carried with them. Here's something most gardeners don't know. Romans didn't find this plant by accident. They brought it with them on purpose. Wherever Roman soldiers settled, ground elder followed, planted deliberately near every outpost. Today, it's one of the most hated weeds in Europe. Back then, it was essential. Inside its leaves is a compound called falcarinol, studied for antibacterial activity. What makes falcarinol interesting is how it works. It disrupts bacteria differently than most antibiotics do. That matters now more than ever. Bacteria are learning to dodge old defenses. Traditionally, ground elder was eaten young, boiled briefly, served with butter, like spinach. It tastes like fresh carrot tops, a little sweet, a little anise-like. But timing matters. Only gather it before it flowers. After flowering, the active compound shifts. The leaves turn bitter and less useful. The Romans were practical people. They didn't carry useless plants across an empire.
Number 10. Self-heal, the name that explains itself. Some plants get named by accident. This one wasn't. Self-heal, Prunella vulgaris. The name was chosen on purpose centuries ago. It grows low, with small purple flowers, easy to overlook in any lawn. Medieval carpenters called it the carpenter's herb, pressed onto fresh tool wounds immediately. Traditional Chinese medicine used the same plant for throat infections and swollen glands. Inside is rosmarinic acid, the same compound found in rosemary. Researchers have linked rosmarinic acid to antimicrobial activity, especially in the mouth and throat. But self-heal carries something rarer too, a compound called prunellin. Early research suggests prunellin may stop bacteria from attaching to tissue before infection even begins. To prepare it, steep fresh leaves and flowers.
just off the boil for 7 minutes. The taste is herbal, slightly bitter, better with a little raw honey. Most people walk past this plant daily. Few know what it carries.
Number 9. Sheep sorrel, the lemon hiding in poor soil. This plant thrives where nothing else wants to grow. Sheep sorrel loves poor, acidic soil, the patches gardeners give up on. Its leaves are sharp, sour, almost electric, like concentrated lemon on the tongue. That sourness comes from oxalic acid and compounds called anthraquinone glycosides. 2 of those compounds, chrysophenol and emodin, have been studied for antibacterial effects. But here's the part most people miss. Sheep sorrel is rich in flavonoids too, compounds like vitexin, studied for activity against H. pylori, the bacteria behind many stomach ulcers. Indigenous communities used sheep sorrel for fevers and digestive infections. European folk healers used it to cool inflammation. Used sparingly, it adds iron and vitamin C. A few leaves in salad is enough. Too much oxalic acid isn't ideal, though. Treat this as an occasional remedy, not a daily food.
Number 8. Wood sorrel, the forgotten wound wash. Don't confuse this one with sheep sorrel. Related, but different. Wood sorrel grows low with clover-shaped leaves. It actually folds up at night. Many people find it pretty, then pull it from garden beds anyway. Celtic traditions saw something sacred here. 3 leaves, often tied to deeper meaning. Irish monks carried this plant through centuries of conflict, used in wound-washing preparations. The reason is tannin content, astringent compounds that tighten and clean tissue. It also carries notable vitamin C, historically used where citrus wasn't available. Here's the detail most people skip. Cold press the leaves, never heat them. Heat destroys the tannins you actually want. Cold extraction keeps them intact. Crush a handful, press the juice into cloth, apply directly to skin. The taste is lemony, clean, refreshing, safe to eat in normal salad amounts.
Number 7. Plantain, the bandage that grows wild. Some plants earn nicknames that weren't poetic at all. Plantain was once called the bandage of God. That wasn't a metaphor. It grows in compacted soil, along driveways, through gravel, in every neglected lawn. One of the oldest English medical texts, the Leech Book of Bald, prescribed it for wounds, bites, and ulcers. The Cherokee used it too. So did several other unrelated traditions. The key compound is called aucubin. When leaves are crushed, it transforms. It converts into catapol and other compounds, studied for activity against staph bacteria. A second compound, allantoin, supports cell repair. It's used in wound creams today. To use it, crush fresh leaves, apply directly to small cuts or stings. You'll feel a cooling effect within minutes. That part is immediate. For internal use, cold steep leaves overnight. Drink the mild infusion in the morning. It tastes faint, green, almost like salad water. Quiet, unremarkable. The effect isn't.
Number 6. Dandelion, the most hated plant with the longest resume. People spend $500 million yearly just to kill this plant. Dandelion, despised on lawns everywhere, loved by nearly every old healing tradition. Ancient Persian physicians used it for the liver. Chinese medicine included it for over 1,000 years. The bitterness isn't a flaw here. The bitterness is the point. Bitter compounds in dandelion stimulate bile production, supporting liver function and digestion. Modern research has found some antibacterial activity too, especially against certain gram-positive bacteria. The root contains inulin, a prebiotic fiber, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. Roasted, the root tastes smoky and dark, almost like bitter chocolate. The French have drunk roasted dandelion root for centuries as a coffee substitute and more. To prepare it, simmer chopped root gently. 20 minutes, never a hard boil. Add raw honey if needed. The result is dark, earthy, grounding. If this kind of forgotten knowledge interests you, this is a good moment to subscribe. More of these plants are coming.
Number 5. Purslane, the food the world eats except us. Stop here for a second. This one is different. Purslane is a staple food on 5 continents, eaten for 3,000 years. Greeks cook it in salads, Turks pair it with yogurt, Mexicans braise it with chili. In America, it's mostly ripped out, treated as a nuisance weed. Yet purslane contains real omega-3 fatty acids, the kind usually found in fish. Most plants only offer a weaker form. Purslane gives the active form directly. But there's something else going on too, something most articles never mention. Its slippery texture comes from special polysaccharides. Early research suggests they may disrupt bacterial biofilms. Biofilms are shields bacteria build together. They make infections far harder to treat. To eat it, try it raw in salad, slightly salty, slightly sour, crisp. Or sauté briefly with garlic and olive oil, just 2 or 3 minutes, no longer. Cooking too long destroys the very compounds that make this plant worth eating.
Number 4. Chickweed, the healer that refuses to sleep. Winter is supposed to close nature's pharmacy. Chickweed never got that memo. It germinates in autumn. It survives under snow. It's often the only green thing visible in February. Inside those small white flowers are real compounds, saponins, and a flavonoid called rutin. Rutin has been studied for anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects, found in other respected medicinal plants too. In Appalachia, people called it poor man's medicine. Crushed fresh, mixed with lard. That paste was applied to boils and infected wounds. The lard kept it in place. Here's a detail most people miss completely. Chickweed's compounds are heat-sensitive. For topical use, warm gently in oil, never above about 40 degrees Celsius. For drinking, cold steep it overnight instead. That preserves more of the active compounds. The taste is surprisingly sweet and tender, like the first bite of young corn. Harvest it early before flowers fade. After that, the plant turns bitter fast.
Number 3. Stinging nettle, the warrior with armor and a sting. Let's address the obvious thing first. Yes, it stings. Nettle leaves carry tiny needles. Each one delivers a sharp, burning sting. That sting is the plant's defense. It works extremely well. But inside nettle root is something called euta, a protein with an unusual ability. Euta appears to bind to bacterial cell membranes, disrupting drug-resistant bacteria from the outside. That matters because resistance often targets internal pathways. An external attack sidesteps that problem entirely. Romans carried nettle seeds into Britain on purpose, both as food and medicine. During World War I, nettle fibers became bandages. Cotton was scarce. Nettle wasn't. Those fibers slowly released small amounts of euta, a quiet antiseptic built into the dressing itself. Heat removes the sting completely. 30 seconds in boiling water is enough. Cooked nettle tastes like deep mineral spinach. Italians use it in risotto. As a dried root tea, it's been used for prostate support and seasonal allergy relief.
Number 2. Yarrow, the soldier's companion, written in old stories. Some plants follow soldiers through history. Yarrow is one of them. Its name comes from Achilles, the warrior of legend, said to use it on wounded soldiers. Romans called it the herb of soldiers. The Norse used it. So did the Navajo. Different continents, different centuries, same plant, same purpose. In 2018, researchers in Greece tested yarrow oil against MRSA, a drug-resistant staph bacteria. The results were compared to vancomycin, a serious antibiotic of last resort. The effect seems to come from multiple compounds working together, not just one isolated chemical. That matters because whole plants often outperform single extracts in studies done so far. There's something else researchers noticed too. Yarrow may activate macrophages. Those are immune cells that hunt down bacteria. Yarrow may help wake them up. To use it, steep dried flowers covered, 10 to 12 minutes just off the boil. The taste is bitter, aromatic with a camphor edge. Swedes once mixed it with honey for digestion. Drink it at the first sign of fever. That was the old timing.
Number 1. Creeping Charlie. The one that won't die and won't let you either. You've pulled this plant before. You know exactly the one. Creeping Charlie. Ground ivy. It spreads everywhere and always comes back. The Anglo-Saxons named it alehoop, a name with a real purpose. Before hops, brewers used this plant to flavor and preserve ale. That bitter quality we now get from hops, this weed provided it first. Inside its small leaves is ursolic acid, also found in apple skins and rosemary. Researchers have studied ursolic acid against anaerobic bacteria, the kind that thrive in low-oxygen wounds. That's exactly where many antibiotics struggle most. Oxygen-dependent drugs need oxygen to work. Anglo-Saxon healers used ground ivy for necrotic wounds, flesh that refused to heal. Some research suggests ursolic acid may also support new tissue growth, helping damaged areas rebuild. To prepare it, gather fresh leaves in spring before summer heat changes the plant. Steep 1 tablespoon in warm water, not boiling, about 70 degrees, for 8 minutes. The flavor is mint and sage, with something deeper, like a forest floor after rain. This plant asks for nothing. No watering, no care, no protection. It only asks one thing, that you stop trying to kill it.
12 plants. 12 quiet histories hiding in plain sight. None of this is new information, really. It was simply set aside. Modern research keeps circling back to the same conclusions old hands already knew. These plants survived everything thrown at them, chemicals, machines, decades of neglect. What's fragile isn't the plants, it's the knowledge of how to use them, how they were harvested, how they were prepared, when heat helped and when it ruined everything. If this kind of forgotten knowledge speaks to you, consider staying a while longer here. There's more of it, quietly waiting, the same way these plants were.